Hi, I'm Victoria, I'm the Workforce Director for the Trust, and I just wanted to spend a few minutes just to share with you the feedback that we've had following the staff conversations that were held in response to our staff survey. So our staff survey for 2017 did not represent the employment experience that we want for our people. So we undertook the conversations to firstly ensure we fully understood the feedback we were getting, but more importantly than all of that, to find out what we could do to make it better. So a number of staff took time out of their busy days and mornings and nights and weekends to give us that feedback, and I'm really grateful for their time and for their honesty. So the feedback that we received was that the boarding of patients in our ward areas and on our corridors massively impacts on every single member of staff. Regardless of the role that we fulfil within the Trust, it affects how we feel about work and our pride in our work as well. We heard that we really struggle to release staff and support staff to undertake training and development, and that's having a big impact on their personal learning and also their career, and we need to do something about that. We had feedback about the frustration of maybe hearing about what's happening in our organisation through the local press, and Future Fit was an example of that. We heard about behaviours and at times of pressure, our behaviours and our respect for one another slips and at times isn't good. And we also heard about the visibility of the executive team and being able to have access to those regular conversations. I think overwhelmingly the message I got from everything, looking at the staff survey, having the conversations with staff, is that we are not living our values as an organisation. Now that feels really difficult to say, I have to be really honest, but actually now we know that that's how it feels, we can do something about it. So we have developed a whole range of different things that we want to do to improve how it feels in work. So the first is that we are going to commit to increasing executive visibility, so you will see execs out and about more. We're going to continue with events such as Breakfast with the Boss, because they've proved popular with the staff who've been involved in them. We're going to run listening events, so you will see on your screen now a list of dates which involve workshops, coming out and talking to you at various different times of the day and week to engage as many staff as possible. Those listening events are to hear from you, but I am really keen to understand how it feels about uniforms, breaks and equipment, because that was some of the feedback that we had. We're also going to launch a We Value Respect campaign. So given that one of our key values is respect, we should see that throughout our organisation. To support this, we are increasing the hours of our Freedom to Speak Up Guardians. We're producing a Z card on behaviours so we can all be really clear on what we expect to see in work. We're also going to review all of our policies to make sure they're far more focused on resolution. And we really truly want to get underneath the issue of why 1 in 4 of our staff feel bullied. That is not acceptable, and we will not tolerate that, and we need to ensure that staff share with us their concerns about that and that we deal with it. In addition, we'll also be doing a review of training time, so it's really important if we're asking staff to learn and develop that we give them the time to do that. And finally, we heard that hearing thank you is really important. Whilst there's an appreciation of the Values and Practice Awards, the annual awards and the monthly awards, actually what we all want to hear is thank you every day, thank you for a piece of work, thank you at the end of the shift, thank you for the constant battle we all have around managing home and work. So that was something that we're going to make sure we support moving forward. So they're the big things that we're going to be focusing on for the next 6 to 12 months. But I wanted to share with you an experience I had last week. So last week I very badly was trying to park my car in the car park, as was a colleague. And that ended up that we had a bit of a giggle about our hopeless parking, and then walked into work together, and our colleague was carrying a bag for life which was really heavy. And the reason it was really heavy is she had cutlery in it. So I asked her why she had cutlery in it. And she shared with me that one of her frustrations was that there wasn't cutlery in her work area for the staff to use to eat their lunch with. And that she was so frustrated by this, she went up into the loft, got her old cutlery set down, brought it down, washed it and brought it into work. And that really struck me, her experience. I don't know about you, but I venture into the loft probably once a year to get the Christmas tree down, and that's probably it. So the fact that she was so frustrated, it led her to undertake that action really hit home with me. And whilst everything I've talked about is really, really important, actually it's also making sure that we start to make some improvements now and smaller things that make a real impact. So there's 2 things we're going to do to help those small things happen over the next 2 months. So the first is that we're going to launch a fund called Small Change to Make a Big Difference. So we're putting aside £10,000 in a fund for staff to bid for. You'll need to answer 2 questions. The first one is, how much do you want? And the second one is, how will it make it better for staff? There's a limit of £100 per bid on those pots, just so we can make sure we get spread. But we'll be launching an app that means you can start to bid for that money, and that could be cutlery, it could be things to decorate a patient area, it could be a new chair in the staff room. It's whatever makes a difference for you. And the second thing we've heard a lot about is access to water, keeping hydrated at work. So inspired by our nursing colleagues, we will be introducing hydration stations in every work area of the trust. And that includes the hydration station, access to water, and we'll be purchasing 6,000 reusable water bottles for every single member of our staff to be able to have a drink. I'm really committed, and the board are really committed to making this a great place to work. And that's going to take us a bit of time to do, given where we are at the moment. But it is the right thing to do, and we want you all to have a really positive experience at work, to feel proud about the jobs that you do and the organisation you work for, and that you are enabled to deliver the care or service to our patients. So thank you very much.